Oh, okay. Did we make it like 6 0 or something? To keep that line there?
0,6.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Alright, can I grab everyone's attention?
Hey, does this make sense?
I don't know, we're about to talk about it.
No, tell me.
No, I'm not gonna just tell you. We're gonna talk about this whole
But there's
class.
nothing wrong with it.
Aww. Okay.
I'm getting homeschooled. Okay.
You wouldn't.
No,
So,
you think I'm playing.
the value of C in standard form. So don't forget, again, just like you need to know the equation for slope-intercept, you need to know the equation for exponential functions, you have to know what these different functions are, right? And so, Jelani, I want you to notice, we got standard form. Is there a K here in standard form? No. There is no K here, so I'm not going to talk about K within standard form. Now, I will point out, you can get K, because can't you graph this standard form and then identify H and K from that? So we're actually going to talk about that, how to take this standard form and get the vertex form after we graph it, because that's going to help us solve equations later. But right now, the y-intercept represents C, or C represents the y-intercept. Be careful, I see one person here who talked about B. Are we talking about B at all?
No.
No, okay. So there's a complicated relationship for B, and so we're not going to get into that. Just be aware, we're talking about C specifically, and we're talking about the y-intercept. So when C increases, the y-intercept decreases. So the flip side of that would be when C decreases, the y-intercept what? So this is what's right here. So when C decreases, though, the y-intercept what? Decreases. So we want to notice that. So C and the y-intercept are very closely related, but notice the simple statement from some of these that C is the y-intercept. Okay? So when I look at this next slide here, which I think is where a lot of us are, so let's look at it here. This is something that a lot of us were starting to do initially, but I want you to remember, if I go and put this number on, or in the calculator, is it going to graph anything?
No.
Nope. So what do we need to do to make sure we get the y-intercept? 0, 6.
I guess we figured that out.
Y'all did?
No. Crazy did.
Good job. Okay. Well, I heard y'all talking about some of it, but if I remember correctly, DJ was the one who realized it'd be 0, right?
No, I thought, well, he told me after you
I
said
thought you
something.
said 6, 0, and then DJ
Oh,
said
yeah,
0,
he saw me. I
6.
said, don't we
See,
just
I'm
need
listening to
0?
my students, and but this is, okay, I want y'all to understand, right now what I'm doing is I'm not trying to say Gracie was wrong by any stretch of the imagination. I'm trying to point out, listen, no I'm not. I'm trying to point out that you will understand better together. This is why we talk, because Gracie had a great realization that we needed a point. And she was thinking, hey, it'd be 6, 0, and then DJ remembered, wait, my x value has to be 0. This is why we're in our small groups. Because we need to talk. Jelani, you were struggling with the y-intercept a little bit earlier, weren't you? And you worked with Gracie and she helped you figure it out. This is why we work within small groups, so we can talk and help each other improve our understanding. Yes, Lexi?
On this, would we want, like, change it to make it positive since you're adding, like the last one?
So remember, the general equation is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So since we are adding c, my c is a positive 6 right now. My c is a positive 16 right now. In order to get minus 5, though, I had to be adding what kind of number? A negative 5.
So it stays negative.
So it stays negative, correct. Does that clarify the question?
Swap standard.
Well, be careful. What's the only value you swap?
Well, yeah, I know
For
that in my
vertex.
brain. If,
Okay.
see, you're a teacher, you're trying to make sure everybody got, but like in my brain, I was like, I already knew that part, so I was
But
like,
I'm also trying to make sure that you
Swap,
clearly
swap.
understand that as well, because again, and don't just say swap. Does anyone know what we would call these two numbers, 5 and negative 5?
Inverse.
They are inverses, but there's an O word that means that they are additive inverses. Opposites. The only thing that opposite means in math is the additive inverse.
In your college classes, did they have you in a little group and it just like changed your whole outlook on everything?
Yes.
Aw, that's so cute.
Legitimately, I learned way more when I sat down and talked with people through the ideas, because they had to ask me questions and I had to confirm with them, and I made mistakes and they made mistakes, and we helped each other grow and learn. It's not just this random thing that I'm saying, hey, do this. I have experienced it. It helped me grow significantly, okay?
Friends and then young still.
Yep. I actually still plan things together. There was a gentleman 2 years ago who was runner-up for Teacher of the Year. His name was David Dye. He and I talk just about every week or every 2 weeks at the absolute latest, talking through how to help each other teach better. So, concavity here.
If you're like Asian, you make student or something.
What's this concavity?
What's your name?
Up,
Down,
down,
up,
up,
and down.
and down. Remember, what is defining or helping us know the concavity? Okay, so I hear the 2x squared, I hear some of us saying other things, but look at the generalized equation. What is defining that concavity? The A value, right? Whether A is positive or negative.
Well, then how is that one, like,
I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's
How
supposed
was-
to be an equal
how was
sign.
the 1/2? The 1/2 was negative.
No,
It was an
Oh, no,
equals
that's the
1/2.
equal sign. What is yours?
Yeah,
It was equals 1/2. It was just hard to see, but it was
Oh, okay.
equals 1/2. Okay, really quickly, this is literally just going to take a second to discuss here. So when we got to this factored form, make sure we recognize this. What is factored form? It's not terribly long.
It is.
It's not.
A times.
A times.
X minus R1.
Okay, so that is our factored form, and we will wrap up this discussion tomorrow with that factored form. But, and some of us already got there probably, any guesses what this A is going to do?
Positive.
Would you think it still might be concavity?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to notice it doesn't matter which form we're looking at, A is always defining our what? Concavity. Every single time. We're going to get into more of that later. Go ahead and log out of your computers and start putting them up. Please make sure you plug them in when you put them up. We have about 2.5 minutes left, so we have plenty of time. I'm going to show you your homework.
Homework.
Yes, your homework.
I'm gonna read Brennan my homework, like later today because I
Okay.
don't, how many questions were in it?
The graphic organizer? Oh, you're talking about the M1-29? It was the right, and then there was just the practice. So like A through G.
Yeah, I did A through G. That's the right one,
Look at that. So, oh, maybe it was A through H. But you do want to explain that a little bit more.
I'll be back later.
Hey, by the way, if y'all ever need graph paper to do graphs, let me know. I got tons of it. I'm a math teacher. I make sure I buy it. Really quickly, before you get out of here, I do want you to see something. This is your homework, M1-77, the right, and then practice only numbers 1 through 3. Don't do number 4. I would take a picture of this to make sure you know what your homework is that's due on Friday. Okay? And then we have these graphic organizers on M1-73 and 75. I'm going to come back to this in just a second, but I want you to see what graphic organizers I'm talking about. So I want you to notice this first graphic organizer. It is what? Standard form is what it says at the top. And so you need to talk about the graphs and their functions. Axis of symmetry, x-intercepts, concavity. Now, only do it if you can easily see it in the equation. You've already done standard in vertex form. I would use Desmos to help you fill out this graphic organizer. It's due on Friday. Here is your homework. Okay, so here's that homework. I would go ahead and do